I'm McAllister at Lamport Stadium, where there was unfortunate events that took place here again today. Toronto police moving in and removing people from a homeless encampment outside of Lamport Stadium. As you can see right now, police are still on the scene. However, they are taking down the fences as we speak. Many people who had been staying here, as well as others who showed up in support, were taken down, some arrested. For the third time in 3 months, we've seen a confrontation like this. The sights and sounds of another clash between police and those in a homeless encampment ringing out again. Shame! Officers lining up face to face with those standing their ground, where tents have been set up to live. People forced to the ground and handcuffed before being arrested and led away. At this point, police have started to move in and remove people forcefully. Arrests have been made. You can see here that they're starting to break through some of the barricades that have been set up. It's another attempt to move people from a city park, this time outside Lamport Stadium for the second time in 2 months, after notices had been given and offers for shelter were made.
There's reasons why people need the outdoor space, and there's also reasons why the encampment is located next to a space that people can access some of the basic services that they provide there.
Police say at least 20 arrests were made with various charges, while forcing others outside the gated perimeter set up earlier in the day.
We want to approach this, and we did approach this with the least amount of force. Spent the better part of the day talking with everybody. Let's move along, let's move along. We do our best to get to a place where nobody gets hurt and where we don't have to be physically fighting with people.
This is what's left over after the police moved in and removed everybody from the encampment. As you can see, there are tents, quite a few personal belongings left over, and in the distance right now you can actually see another person being moved off into the distance. There were a couple of people left over after everybody else had been moved outside of the gates, and we had a chance to catch up with someone still inside their tent.
I stayed in here, didn't move out of my, seeing that it was going down. I didn't want to be in the way of it or be a part of the chaos, right? It's a war, and I don't want to be in the war. I want to be in the peace.
These altercations have now happened multiple times in the same effort to clear city parks from people living there. Those supporting them claim the alternatives of shelter and housing aren't adequate. The city says it's not those in need of help that are putting up the fight.
I don't think all the facts are on the table with respect to the quite deliberate obstruction that often happens and the abuse, by the way, that is handed out to our city staff who are just doing their jobs as public servants to go and try to persuade these people, these vulnerable people, to accept indoor housing.
As the fences come down as we speak, we haven't heard anything further from the city at this point in terms of how many people were taken to shelters and housing and how many people ended up walking out beyond the police forcing them out on their own. Right now, we've actually been told that some of the people that were living here came from Alexandra Park, which was cleared out yesterday, and Trinity Bellwoods, which of course happened last month. Where they're going now, there's no knowing.